Hey folks, Ted here today with Exped and the Exped SynMat Duo. It wasn't too long ago that if you wanted to get out as a couple, you had to take two mats with you. Now, when you look at a mat that's designed for two people, and I would say the SynMat Duo is Exped's reference standard for comfort anywhere for two people in the field. If you look at the size and the compactness of this mat, it's pretty impressive. We used to carry mats for one person that were this size and this weight, and we've come a long way, and this mat is definitely where it's at. Super comfortable, super thick, and super warm. And in fact, it's got 4-season capabilities. I mean, it's just really an impressive mat. Let me open this up and show you exactly what's involved with a SynMat Duo. SynMat Duo, like all Exped mats, has a stuff sack, and inside of the stuff sack is a schnozzle pump sack, right there. A repair kit, should you need that in the field. The mat, roll that on out. The gray side is the bottom side. The terracotta side is the top side. I'm going to flip it so that the bottom side is up, so you can see what's going on. Each one of the SynMats comes with an inflate and a deflate valve on both sides, and I'll show you how those work. Now with Exped mats, we don't like to go ahead and blow into them. We like to use an inflation device. In this case, we'll use the schnozzle pump bag that comes with the mat. Schnozzle pump bag allows me to put really nice dry air onto the inside. Open up the inflate valve. Open up the schnozzle pump bag. Lock that in there. The beauty with a mat like this is that it fills out the entire floor of your tent. It comes in two sizes. In this case, it comes in a medium and also a long wide. So depending upon what you need, either to match your body size or to match the space on the inside of your tent, you can get either one of the sizes. They work really well. Open up the schnozzle pump bag, let it fill up with air, give it a couple of wraps on the top, and then just push the air into the mat. And this puts nice, dry, clean air on the inside of the mat. And it'll probably take a couple of bagfuls on each side. Do it again right here. Capture a little bit of air. And there's one side all inflated right there. I always like to inflate a little bit firm, that way I can soften it up a little bit later on. Open up the inflate valve on the other side. Lock that on. Again, open up the schnozzle pump bag, give it a couple of rolls, that's all you really need, and then push air into the inside of the mat. Gather some fabric, push in a little bit more. And one more time ought to get me taken care of here. If this is a long wide, I might take 3 bags. These mats hold a lot of air, which makes it, of course, supremely comfortable when you're sleeping on them. Get that all filled out. Close the flat valve, and now we'll flip it over. Put the schnozzle pump bag aside. Now, just to give you a few details on what makes this mat so comfortable. First of all, the SynMat is made with a 75D face fabric, top and bottom. 75D face fabric gives you the most durable face fabric we can work with. Added puncture resistance, added tear resistance. You shouldn't take your dog in the tent, but if you do, there's a few people, you definitely want to be working with a mat that has at least a 75D face fabric on it for the added durability. If you got a lot of sand and grit on the inside of the tent, this will give you what you need. Make sure you've got a mat that lasts a good long time. As with all Exped mats, we use vertical baffles. It allows us to put a thicker air rail on the outside of each of the mats so that you kind of know where the perimeter is, so when you're rolling back and forth, you know where the edge is in the middle of the night. Keeps you centered onto the center portions of the mat that are fully insulated. And that brings us to another point. The SynMat is an insulated mat. We take insulation and we bond it to the top and to the bottom of the mat, and every time we inflate it, we're stretching that insulation to fill the entire air channel. And in the case of the SynMat, we have an R value that's incredibly high for this kind of a mat, and it gives you a really solid 4-season application. So if you're doing stuff spring, summer, fall, winter, or if you're a cold sleeper, this will really take care of you in all of those scenarios. So really super comfortable, and as you saw when I inflated it, there are actually 2 chambers, one on either side of the mat, and that really is beneficial for the two of you, because if I were to get on this side of the mat, my partners are going to get bounced out of the other side. Every time I roll around, they're going to get the waterbed effect moving back and forth. So by putting a center baffle down the middle of the mat, I can go ahead and get off and on this side of the mat without bouncing my partner off or on the mat. That's one thing that's really great. The other thing is, Everybody likes their mat sort of at a different sort of level of support and firmness, and I can go ahead and regulate that. On my side of the mat, I can flip it over, open up the inflate valve, and then just go ahead and burp a little bit of air out right on the green there, and you're set to go. And that allows me to dial in the firmness on my side without affecting my partner's side. Works really well, and like I said, the two different sizes, this is a medium. A long wide would actually completely fill out the floor of most two-person tents. Very comfortable, supremely comfortable in fact. Wouldn't go out partner in the backcountry without using a duo mat. It's just such a great thing to have a surface area that's covering the entire floor of the tent. Now when it comes time to deflate the mats, go ahead and flip the mat over, open up the deflate valve on either side, and the air just dumps out of the mat. I like to fold it into thirds, or I guess fold it in half first, then fold it into thirds, and then just push the air out of the mat. Obviously, you can go ahead and do this by just laying on the mat and just dumping all the air out that way. I'll fold it into quarters again. Actually, sorry, flip it around this way. And now we can go ahead and just roll the mat up and squeeze the air out as we go, neaten along as we go. Again, with the 75D face fabric, you get really good durability. Allows you to use it in a variety of different situations without having to be quite as cautious as you are with other mats that we make that are lighter. So this really, really does pack down nicely. One of the other things I wanted to mention about the Schnozzle pump bag, obviously with a pump bag, it allows you to put that dry, clean air on the inside of the mat, but it also allows you to have an added dry bag. I'll show that to you in just a second. So this packs up nice and tight, repair kits in place. Schnozzle pump bag I could go ahead and roll up and stuff inside of here, or I can take my sleeping bag or my sleeping quilt that I have, put it on the inside of this because this is coated, it's taped, it's totally dry, and it has a dry closure. So the actual added weight to your overall pack is pretty much zero. It's a great added pack liner or a sleeping bag stuff sack, and it's a pump sack. That's its primary role. It's a great setup. It's a great way to get out in the backcountry with two people. Have fun. See you out there.